I have an older learner, so she is 20 something years old, very, very, very low. She is probably functioning at a 2 or 3 year old level, nonverbal. She does have some life skills, but she is getting up in the middle of the night, and she lives in a bigger house, but she's setting off the alarm. So her parents don't set the motion detector at night, but she's now able to get up in the middle of the night, and she's going to the keypad, and she's somehow pressing one button and turning on the alarm for the whole house. So now the alarm is going off at like 2 in the morning, and she's setting off the alarm, and she's wandering through the house, etc. And mom is distraught, and she's saying, oh, what can we do, right? The very first thing that crossed my mind was, well, can you block access to the keypad somehow? Can you put something over top of it so you can lock it? And the answer to that was no, we can't do that. So like, okay, so what else? How do we brainstorm that? We can desensitize her by, walking like during therapy and walking back and forth in the hallway, and, she can't touch that, alarm system. We can put stop signs up, etc. That stuff has all been done. She doesn't touch it during the day. It just seems for some reason in the middle of the night that she's doing that. So the thought I had, which is, I don't know what the thought is, right? But I was like, okay, so her room is probably 500 square feet. It's connected to a bathroom. Can we lock her door? Is that ethical? Can we lock her in her bedroom? Is that ethical? I have no idea. So I started with, like, my first gut was like, I don't think that's ethical, but I'm not sure. Maybe it is. So I started with calling Children's Aid Society, and I said, listen, like, I have a situation, not a bad situation, but I have a situation and I'd love your opinion on it. Can you give me an opinion on it? And I said, well, the kid's 20 something. And as soon as I said that, they said, can't help you. Sorry, not under our guidance, not under our jurisdiction. I'm like, darn, I should have said 16. So I'm like, where do you turn? And that's a question. Like, if you're in a group home, if you're working in a group home, if you've got, kiddos who you see their older clients, who governs that ethical behavior? As far as I know, nobody does. And that's the scary thing. So anyway, my next phone call was to my friend who's a police officer. And I said, okay, so, if someone's older, or even if someone's younger, what do? They call, people call the cops, right? So I called my friend who's the police officer, and I talked with him for about 10 minutes, and he had an awesome phone call. And, he said, it's such a gray area. He's like, listen, like, you have to weigh out the benefits of locking her in her room versus, having her roam the house. So if she were going downstairs to the kitchen and getting out the steak knife and trying to self-injure, well, that's really serious. Or if she's trying to light a fire in the house, or if she's trying to something else where it's super dangerous to herself, then that might be grounds to lock her in her room, considering her room is huge, she's got a bathroom connected to it, etc. He's like, she's setting off an alarm. Like, is that really a danger to herself? No. First world problems, right? Setting off an alarm because the house is big enough to have an alarm. He said, you need to act in a way that if anybody else were to get a hold of the situation, there's always two sides to every story. But if someone were to get a hold of the situation and say, is it ethical? And you say, well, listen, like, the risk is that she's going to take a steak knife and she could kill herself with it. Then people, oh, okay, I get that. Well, she's setting off an alarm. Not so great, right? So that's who I reached out to. And then I reached out to another BCBA who actually works in a group home, and we discussed the situation as well. And we both agreed we're not putting that in the behavior plan. So anyway, I wanted to share that because that comes up in a day's work.
Could you put a lock on the fire alarm, on the alarm system? Like,
no.
On those white boxes? You could, like, no. We have it on our fire, like, kids pull the fire alarm.
Yeah.
A clear box with a key that you have to, like, they have it in, like, hotel rooms sometimes.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I recommended that. Mom's like, no. I mean, the other option is call the alarm company and see if there's some kind of other alarm that can be installed so that she has to press a series of buttons before the alarm goes off.
Why would mom say no?
What's that?
Why would mom say no?
I don't know. I think what I need to do is visually show her something. Like, I need to find something on Amazon or somewhere else and just say, listen, here's what I'm thinking of. Because I think mom is probably saying no because she's like, no, there's no lock on the alarm system. I can't do it. But if I can show her that you can buy something external like that, then it's a possibility. So if anybody else has any suggestions, I welcome them, please. That would be amazing.